In this section, we're going to look at how we multiply polynomials. So a quick definition reminder. When we say monomial means one term. It could look like this, 7x squared y to the fourth. I know it has many parts, but it's one term. Polynomial can look a lot of different ways. It can have 2 terms, 3 terms, 4 terms. Could look something like this, 2x cubed minus 8x squared plus 9x minus 4. This one has 4 terms, but it could have as few as 2 terms, as many as infinity terms. So when we are multiplying the polynomials today, we're going to start out just multiplying monomials, a monomial times a monomial. Then we're going to do a monomial times polynomials. Then we'll end with polynomials times polynomials. And one thing we need to remember here is one of our exponent rules, that when we are multiplying, we use our product rule. And our product rule says that if we're multiplying things with the same bases, we keep the base and we add our exponents. Okay, so a monomial times a monomial. We have a monomial here, monomial here. We're going to go ahead and multiply our coefficients. 4 times 2 is 8. And then we're going to add our exponents. X cubed, x squared gives me x to the fifth. Y to the fourth, y to the sixth gives me y to the 10th. Z to the first, z to the third gives me z to the fourth. So monomial times a monomial, we just use our product rule. Okay, if we have, in this case, a monomial times a polynomial, specifically this is a trinomial, 3 terms, we're going to take our monomial on the outside and we're going to distribute that to everything on the inside. Okay, so when we distribute it, we have 4x cubed times 5x squared. That's going to give me 20x to the fifth. When we multiply, we've got to add those exponents. Okay, 4x cubed times 2x. Remember, that's 2x to the first. So we get minus 8x to the fourth. And then we have 4x cubed times 5. So that's going to give me plus 20x cubed. We always check and see if we can simplify, see if there's like terms. We don't have any here, so we're finished. Okay, another monomial times a polynomial. In this case, it's a binomial. Same process, we're going to use distribution. So 2a cubed b times 3ab squared. Well, 2 times 3 gives me 6. We have a cubed, a to the first, that gives me a to the fourth. B to the first, b squared, that gives me b cubed. Okay, now we're going to take it and multiply it by that second term. We're going to get minus 8, a to the fourth, b to the first, or just b. Again, there aren't any like terms that we can combine, so we just leave it as it is. Okay, so now let's look at some binomials times binomials here. So look, we've got 2 terms times 2 terms. If that's the case, we're still going to use distribution. We're just going to kind of have to distribute 2 separate times. So we're going to take our first term and we're going to distribute that to everything inside our second parentheses. So 4x times 3x gives me 12x squared. 4x times negative 2y gives me negative 8xy. Now we're going to do the same thing with our 7y. We're going to take it, we're going to distribute it here, distribute it here. So 7y times 3x is plus 21yx, or xy, you can write it either way. Usually you see it in alphabetical order. 7y times negative 2y gives me negative 14y squared. Here we're not finished. We do have some like terms we can combine. So nothing we can combine with 12x squared. Negative 8xy plus 21xy gives me a positive 13xy. And then we've got minus 14y squared. Okay, same process on this next one, but notice we have a binomial times a trinomial. So we're still going to use distribution. It's just going to be a little bit longer process. Let's take our 2x. We're going to distribute it, and distribute it. We're going to multiply it 3 times. So 2x times 4x squared gives me 8x cubed. 2x times negative 7x is minus 14x squared. And 2x times 3 is 6x. Now we're going to take our negative 5 and we're going to distribute that. Negative 5 times 4x squared is negative 20x squared. Negative 5 times negative 7x is positive 35x. Negative 5 times 3 is negative 15. Okay, let's combine our like terms. Nothing we can put with this. We can put x squareds together. Negative 14x squared minus 20x squared gives me negative 34x squared. We can put our x's together. 6x and 35x is 41x. And then we've got no other numbers, so just a minus 15 at the end. Okay, and one more example of this. Here we have a binomial times a binomial, and then we just have that 3 out in front. So there's a couple different ways you could do this. You could take care of that 3 first, or we could do the binomial times the binomial first, then distribute the 3 at the end. That's the way that I'm going to go about this. So I'm just going to leave that 3 on the outside, and I'm going to multiply the binomials like the one we did above. So 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times 5 is 10x. Negative 4 times x, negative 4x. Negative 4 times 5, negative 20. Okay, I'm going to combine my like terms. I'm going to keep that 3 there. 2x squared plus 6x minus 20. And then I'm just going to take that 3 and distribute it to everything. So we end up with 6x squared plus 18x minus 60. Okay, and one thing I want to add on here, I'm going to call it just an extra example, is sometimes we might have something written like this. 2x minus 5 to the second power. Be really careful. One thing a lot of students want to do is take that exponent and apply it to both pieces on the inside, kind of like we did with monomials. But notice this is not a monomial. We have a binomial being squared. So what this 2 means is that we have 2 of these. So we're going to have to write this out as 2x minus 5 2 times. We're multiplying 2x minus 5 times itself, times 2x minus 5. After you write it out, now we treat it the same way we did this last one. Distribute. We get 2x times 2x is 4x squared. 2x times negative 5 is negative 10x. Negative 5 times 2x is negative 10x. Negative 5 times negative 5, positive 20. So if we combine our like terms, we get 4x squared minus 20x plus 20. So just kind of keep in mind, if you see a binomial squared, you do not just apply the exponents. You've got to write that binomial out 2 times and then multiply from there.